Dominating performances, messy finish in title match. 4 mistakes that shouldn't be made at WWE Night of Champions. Night of Champions boasts a card stacked with action. Both women's titles are on the line, and a new World Heavyweight Champion will be crowned. To prolong his reign, Roman Reigns is challenging for a tag title rather than defending his belts. There are also grudge matches between Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus, as well as Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar. Gunther will be defending his title against Mustafa Ali. As the event before Money in the Bank, Night of Champions should set the stage for the road to SummerSlam. New angles will start, while others, like the implosion of the Bloodline, will begin to take shape this weekend. A lot could change in Saudi Arabia, but certain things shouldn't happen. The following 4 mistakes shouldn't be made at Night of Champions. Cody Rhodes technically has a win over the Beast. Since then, Brock Lesnar has dismantled the American Nightmare whenever things have become physical between the two. Heating into their fight at Night of Champions, fans have seen that Lesnar has injured Rhodes' arm. It could be another case of the former bravely fighting back against a beast who's 100%. Both men need to look strong, and all the Beast has to do is deliver the usual amount of punishment. If Rhodes wins, it will be another chapter in his book of courageous acts. If Lesnar wins, it needs to be after almost exhausting his arsenal. WWE has heavily invested in everything about the Bloodline, sometimes at the expense of the rest of the roster. Matt Riddle returned, but lost more than he had won against the Bloodline. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have fallen against Solo Sikoa when facing the Bloodline post-WrestleMania. Owens and Zayn just won the undisputed tag titles in April. They shouldn't be dropping them anytime soon. Roman Reigns doesn't need another title because of that, as well as taking the title match over his cousins, there needs to be considerable development in the Bloodline saga. It shouldn't involve a title swap, but instead, the Usos standing up for themselves. It could happen with or without interference. However it goes down, the implosion must begin at Night of Champions rarely defend. The story that has been told is that Reigns' absolute control is starting to affect the Usos. Because of that, as well as taking the title match over his cousins, there needs to be considerable development in the Bloodline saga. It shouldn't involve a title swap, but instead, the Usos standing up for themselves. It could happen with or without interference. However it goes down, the implosion must begin at Night of Champions. Asuka's new persona was met with much fanfare at the Royal Rumble. While challenging Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania 39, she remained a face. The Empress of Tomorrow was unsuccessful in her bid to dethrone Belair. She left TV for a bit, but recently returned to rekindle her feud with the EST of WWE. The former dominant NXT Women's Champ now has another shot at Belair. Fans at Backlash appeared to tire of the long reign, instead opting to cheer Io Sky over the champion. Asuka has long played second fiddle to stars like Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, and Belair. Another loss to Belair again essentially kills any momentum Asuka built. Whoever walks out of Saudi Arabia as the World Heavyweight Champion needs to win the title clean. If someone is added to the match at the last minute or interference plays into the outcome, it will be too reminiscent of the Universal title's introduction. Ever since the new championship was introduced, there was always an air of dread that Reigns would somehow weasel his way into the match. That can't happen at Night of Champions. No one else should factor into the match. The rest of the roster and the WWE Universe should enjoy a decisive win and a full-time champion. Surprises can be good in wrestling, but this wouldn't be one of those times.